You are Locked On Marlins POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, Fish fans? Welcome to another episode of Locked On Marlins POSTCAST. My name's Jim Grieshaber. Call me Gries, and another tough one today for the Fish. At home in the MIA. They lose at Lone Depot Park. 1-0 to the New York Mets, and not a great day for the Miami Marlins offense. It's a little hint as we get you into the show. I want to thank you, as always, for making Locked On Marlins and your Locked On Marlins POSTCAST, soon-to-be Dolphins, Canes football, Miami Heat, all those teams in South Florida, right? Thank you for making us your first watch/listen every single day. We're free, available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube, Locked On Sports Miami, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And tonight's episode of your Locked On Marlins POSTCAST is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah, the right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. And the Mets are enjoying their stay, at least today, in South Florida. Not a great day for the Mets offense whatsoever. Not a great day for the Mets offense. Their defense was good. Their pitching was really good as well. The Marlins were fantastic, especially out of the bullpen. Both teams 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position and left 10 runners on base, if that gives you any idea of what type of game it was. But, man, oh, man, the Marlins couldn't get it done. And it's just been the theme all year. They just can't hit, and we talked about it yesterday. The B&B boys, Berger with the homer and the double yesterday. Bell had the RBI, and you're like, yeah. Man, tonight Bell made a terrible throw, too, and they got out of the inning with a double play. They did it all night. Their defense was good. You know what I'm saying? Their defense was good. But offensively, they just were completely nothing tonight. I mean, look, they ended up with 4 hits. They had most of the game, it was 2. And shout out Jesus Sanchez had 2 hits tonight. Berger had 1. And who else had 1? Otto Lopez had 1. He's been good at second base. For the Mets, 2 hits for Iglesias, Joe Iglesias. Stewart had 1. Alonso had 1. Martinez with 1. And Lindor with 1. A couple of nice double plays turned tonight by the Marlins. Got him out of innings. Roddery Munoz was great on the bump. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned. And then the bullpen, 4 shutout innings. Again with the pen. Bryan Hoeing, where he belongs, in the bullpen. Not a spot start. Really good out of the pen tonight with a scoreless inning. Andrew Nardi, scoreless inning. Just 1 hit with 2 strikeouts. Had 1 strikeout for Hoeing. Oh, no, I have a show. So, Nardi, a scoreless inning, Brazoban, a scoreless inning, and Chargrois, a scoreless inning. He's only allowed 2 runs all year, each one on a solo homer. So, Hoeing, Nardi, Brazoban, and Chargrois combined for 4 scoreless innings in this game. For the Mets, it was Severino, Luis Severino. His hardest pitch that he's thrown this year was in this game. He was throwing 98, then he hit 99 on the gun. The changeup is nasty. The slider is filthy. He looked really good tonight, looking like an ace. He pitched 6 scoreless innings, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts for Severino. Butto, Nunez, and Diaz, and you're hoping Diaz was that guy that he was when the Marlins got to him earlier this season, but not to be, as Butto, Nunez, and Diaz look good for the Mets tonight. 1-0 the win. The Marlins won 6-4 last night. Mets back in the win column, and yeah, the Marlins looking like, again, just wondering, hey, when are we going to get some hits? What are we going to do offensively? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just, the B&B boys tonight, guys, and I always get on Berger and Bell and Gordon, all 3 of them. What am I constantly singing? What am I constantly just nonstop pining for? What am I longing for? What's my life's ambition? What is becoming number 1 on my bucket list? It's for Berger and Bell to hit the ball. And Gordon, too. We talk about it all the time. There's supposed to be just 3, 4, 5 in the lineup, and those are the guys that are supposed to really rake on this team. Arise is gone. You got Chisholm and De La Cruz, who all of a sudden can't hit anything. Average down to 237 for DLC. Chisholm down at 248, 0 for 4. DLC 0 for 4. Bell 0 for 3. Your top 3 hitters in your lineup 0 for 11. Berger 1 for 3 in the cleanup spot, hitting 230. Nobody in the top 5 of your lineup is hitting 250. Lopez is your 6th hitter. He's hitting 254. Edwards 0 for 3 tonight. Gordon 0 for 4. So the 8th inning comes up, right? And you're sitting there and you're going, wow, the Marlins have a shot. It's, you got a good part of the order coming up in the 8th inning. And, here come the B&B boys leading it off. Here they come. Here comes the B&B boys. Here they come, right? Nunez in pitching for the Mets. Bell strikes out swinging. Berger strikes out looking. Back-to-back, B-to-B. Back-to-back B&B strikeouts. This is what they do to start the inning. Bell and Berger, back-to-back strikeouts. They were both terrible tonight. Sanchez singles. Lopez singles. First and second with 2 outs. Gordon, what do you guess he does? Strikes out swinging. So Bell, strikeout, swinging. Berger, strikeout, looking. Gordon, strikeout, swinging, sandwiched around 2 hits. You can't do anything. You're not going anywhere if the meat of your order is not producing for you. You're 3, 4, 5 guys, and I know Gordon didn't hit 5th tonight. It's because he can't hit. It's where he was in the order. Those were your 3, 4, 5 guys early in the year. Berger got hurt after start of the year with the 15 RBIs, and he's never been the same since. Hasn't been the same since. And Bell up and down all year, and he can't play first base. Neither guy really can. Berger at third, Bell at first. That's maybe your worst defensive infield, right? Oh, boy. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do, right? Just another one of those nights. They couldn't get a hit, though. This is what this game was about tonight. It's just their inept offense. And, game in and game out. And, we don't like to go through the game inning by inning, but Munoz looked sharp tonight. Walked Lindor to start the game, but you could see that sinker at 94 miles an hour to get it going tonight. The 4-seamer at 96, the cutter at 92. That's filthy. You got one pitch going this way, one pitch going that way, and one pitch dropping straight down, and they're all low to mid-90s, man. That is absolute filth. So between Munoz and Cabrera, with Weathers, Luzardo, and Alcantara, man, that's a good rotation. And the way this bullpen's chucking the ball this year, if you keep this rotation together, if I'm the Marlins, I forget about this year altogether. You already pressed the panic button and traded Luis Severino, which I never would have done. You don't trade the best hitter in baseball. I repeat, you do not trade the best hitter in baseball. And Luis Severino is the best hitter in baseball. Come at me, bro. He's the best hitter in baseball. He is. He's the best hitter since Tony Gwynn in Major League Baseball. Look it up. If you don't believe me, I don't have time in a half-hour show to refute you and refute this. If you are, honestly speaking, not following the game on that level and you're not seeing what Luis Severino has been doing, then I can't help you there. But I do know this. The Marlins panicked and traded him too early. Yes, they did. And I'm not talking about this year. It's a playoff team last year. What kind of team is going to make the playoffs when your ace is on the IL to start the season? Mikey Myers is gone. Luzardo and Weathers are pitching great. The 2 lefties, they both go on the IL within the last month, and they're out. All this time, Weathers got bumped to the 60-day. Luzardo's on the 30-day. Who knows when he'll come back? It could be later this month. But they've both been out. And they started the year great, both guys. They did. Alcantara's out, but if you put that rotation together, Alcantara with those 2 lefties, Luzardo and Weathers, Cabrera, Munoz. Munoz is filthy, man. 94 on the sinker, 96 on the 4-seam, 92 on the cutter. And then he's going to throw the slider at 87. I mean, that's just, it's like, which one do you want, man? Which one do you want? Pick your poison. This dude's going to be a stud. He's going to be a stud. Mark my words. So he looked good early on, and he got the 2 strikeouts to end the first inning. Got the fielder's choice for the force out. And then Martinez and Alonso, right, in the first inning. So nice job by Munoz. Set the tone. You can just tell he had his stuff tonight. He was looking good. Severino, better. Not facing as good of an offense. The Marlins not even close to as good of an offense as the Mets are, right? Chisholm flies out. De La Cruz strikes out looking. Nothing in the first inning, just on 1 hit for Miami. Munoz still looking good in the second. Another strikeout there. Had it going tonight. Unlike Cabrera, who looked good yesterday but wasn't striking anybody out. Mets in the third, 1-2-3. Munoz looking good. Marlins bottom of the third, same though. Just not happening. They had runners on base in every inning but 2. Severino had a couple of control issues, really not many, 3 walks in 6 innings. a walk every other inning. Mets got the only run of the game in the 4th inning. Martinez lined out to left field. JD hits bullets, man. He hits bullets straight up. Alonso doubles to left. Alonso's a great hitter. Vientos hit by a pitch. Stewart walks. Bases jacked. 1 away. Munoz, only real jam of the night. Alvarez grounds to short. Alonso scores. It's a fielder's choice. The only run of the game scores on a fielder's choice, and that's how it happened tonight. The only run of the game scored on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. Severino, after they score, comes out in the 4th. Gets Berger to pop out. Sanchez with a 1-out single. Nothing doing. Edwards strikes out looking to end the inning. Mets in the 5th. Nothing. And then both pitchers just dealing. Then in the 6th inning, Hoeing comes in for Miami. Same thing. Bullpen was great tonight. Severino went 6. Marlins, with 1 out, Berger got hit by a pitch. Lopez walks with 2 outs. Wild pitch. Makes it 2nd and 3rd. It's the one spot where you just want to hit. And Gordon comes up, wouldn't you know. And what does Gordon do after Bell pops out and Berger got hit by a pitch? What happens? Gordon strikes out. The spots find you when you're struggling, and Gordon's been doing that. Nothing doing the rest of the game for either team. Both bullpens fantastic. The Marlins in the bottom of the 8th. Bell and Berger, strikeout. Sanchez single, Lopez single, Gordon strikeout. The B&B boys and Gordon killing you again. You're watching your Locked On Marlins postcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries. You can't do anything when the guys in the middle of the lineup can't do anything for you. You're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything. You're not winning anything if the guys in the middle of the lineup cannot produce for you. Berger has been terrible. Bell has been terrible. And Gordon has been worse. And that's what happened in the 8th inning tonight. That's what's been happening all year. They don't have a cleanup hitter. They don't have a number 3 hitter. Offensively speaking, they need to bolster that offense. But I will tell you what, and I'm going to repeat it again. Alcantara, Myers, Weathers, Luzardo, Cabrera, and Munoz. That's 6 very good starters. You make one of them a long reliever. Your bullpen's already great. Things looking really good for the future for the Miami Marlins. You're watching your Locked On Marlins postcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries. On the other side of the break, 11 shutouts this season. The offense is punchless. It's listless. Should they stay or should they go? Should the Marlins be sellers at the deadline? Coming up soon. We'll talk about that on the other side. Locked On Marlins postcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries. This episode of your Locked On Marlins postcast is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yes. With summer travel heating up, especially travel for baseball games, it's time to explore those U.S. cities you've always wanted to learn more about. Maybe it was a secret and you don't want to say it too loud because we're talking about your rival cities with hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more. On Booking.com, you might just find your perfect stay, even in your baseball rival's city. I've done it so many times, you gotta love it, right? Flossing with the Marlins. You see this jersey right here? This is a 2003 World Champion Miami Marlins jersey. What would it have been like if you went on Booking.com back then, which they didn't have back then, but what if you'd have gone on it back then if they'd have had it and you would have gotten tickets to the World Series to see Josh Beckett beat the Yankees in Game 6? What about the 97 Marlins? What if you had traveled to Cleveland and watched Moises Alou hit that home run in that winter air? How about that? How about the Bartman game in Chicago with the Cubs? What if you could have been there? You could have been on Booking.com. Booking.yeah. Very, very, very fun times to be had when you travel to your enemies' cities, right? And in this division, you got D.C., you got New York, you got Philly, you got Atlanta. Those are 4 great American cities. The ATL, the capital of the South. D.C., the capital of America. All the history there. New York City, the best food in the world, the history there. And then, of course, Philadelphia. You can ring the Freedom Bell. You know what I'm saying? So the right fan can make the best of any city, but for you, you're a great fan, and the right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com, on the site, or in the Booking.com app. For Booking.com, Booking.yeah. Locked On Marlins postcast is also brought to you by Prize Picks. I need something for the itchy mustache here. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active users. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is you pick more or you pick less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends. Become part of the PrizePicks community today. All right, you can win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks. With as little as 4 correct picks, you can turn $10 into 1,000. And with the NBA Finals over, forget about it. You got the WNBA All-Star Game today. You got the Olympics coming up. The hoops action doesn't stop on PrizePicks. Women's basketball is still heating up. You can use PrizePicks in more than 30 states across the country, California, Texas, Georgia included. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Are you, yes you, watching Fox Sports, ESPN on your TV all day? You have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Well, you don't have to do it anymore because you can make the switch to Locked On Sports today. That's right, a free 24/7 streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, yo team, every single day. That's right, Locked On Marlins POSTCAST rolling right along on your Saturday. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries, pumped to let you know the pitching is looking good and the future is set up nicely for the Miami Marlins. They should not trade the pitchers. You might be able to get away with trading one arm. One. Count it. One. Look at the rundown real quick as we continue with your Locked On Marlins postcast. Still to come a little bit later in the show. We'll hit the scoreboard. Obviously, Munoz in the pen. Great again. Roddery Munoz, filthy, man. 90s, low to mid 90s with the sinker, with the cutter, with the seamer, and then 87 on the slider. Dog. I mean, that's crazy, bro. His stuff is just electric. Man. It is absolutely just insane thinking about what this dude brings to the table, what he's still throwing. And then, he only goes 5 innings, which drives you a little bit crazy, right? He's still striking out guys in the 5th inning. You know what I mean? Gave up a 1-out hit and then walked someone. You got a Martinez line to the double play. You had Alonso coming up. So, yeah, you had the walk, you know what I mean, around the hit. But, man, he was still 94, 95 with the 4-seamer. Slider at 86. Yeah, he was still dealing. He's filthy, man. You really got to like Roddery Munoz. Let's look at the injuries and see where we're at with the pitching staff, shall we? Because we've talked about being a buyer, being a seller at the deadline. Look, the Marlins are not going to be a buyer at the deadline. I mean, obviously, you're not going to be a buyer when you're a million games out, and this year is a throwaway on many levels. You're finding out a lot about players, especially pitchers, with all the injuries, right? So the deadline is coming up. The MLB trade deadline is coming up. It's July 30th, right around the corner, right? What are you going to do? You're going to add someone? No, you're not going to add anybody. But should you be? No. The Yankees want Jazz Chisholm. Now, the Marlins offense is terrible. They're not doing anything this year. Jazz could be a piece you build around for the future, but could you get in free agency or through a trade a player of his caliber, bring back a player of that caliber relatively easily if you're spending money? Yes, you could. The Yankees want him badly. Lone Depot Park's a terrible hitter's park for Jazz. Like, his numbers would increase in a place like Yankee Stadium with that short porch in right field. That's 10 more homers, maybe at least 8 more for a guy like Jazz. You know what I mean? He's under club control through 2026. Soto and Torres could leave under free agency, and yeah, I mean, that's something that you definitely could see. And then some of the other teams that are looking for someone right now, I mean, Tanner Scott to the Astros maybe. The Astros could be looking for Tanner Scott, and that would be tough. I'm going to get back to this in a minute. So Jazz Chisholm, Tanner Scott. Obviously, when you're as bad as the Marlins are and you have talent, the teams at the top are going to be looking to raid the cupboards. They're going to be looking to raid the cupboards. And when you raid the cupboards, the Marlins are the team that you're talking about raiding. One of those teams. You know what I mean? One of those teams. The Phillies could be looking at some Marlins guys, although I highly doubt it. The Padres already got Luis Severino. Their pitching looks pretty good. I just don't understand why they would trade any pitchers. Luzardo's under club control. Look, I know it's a payroll thing. No one's making a ton of money, though, on this team. No one's making a ton of money on this team. That's the thing. No one. You know what I'm saying? So Weathers is on the 60-day IL. That's from July 7th. He's out for a long time. Myers is on the 10-day IL. Dane Myers, the outfielder. They have 5 quality outfielders on this team. You like what you see from Myers. You got DLC, Jazz, Gordon, and Sanchez. So you could trade Jazz Chisholm and not feel too much of a burden on that end. So maybe you'd make that deal. But I would never trade Tanner Scott. He is the stud closer in a bullpen that's been killing it all year long. Absolutely killing. You do not trade any of these pitchers. You're going to get back Alcantara. You're going to get back Myers, Luzardo, Weathers. Then you got Cabrera. You got Munoz. That with this bullpen with Chargrois and Nardi and Tanner Scott and Puck and all. No, you don't trade Tanner Scott. You don't trade any of the pitchers. This could be a team next year. If they don't compete next year with all these guys, yeah, you let teams come pick you clean. Lions in the jungle, baby. What they leave, the hyenas get. Nothing left but bones. Fine, I'm with that. But not this year. Not after they made the playoffs last year. Not with all the injuries they've had to the pitching staff. Give these starters a chance to come back next year with this bullpen and make some moves to help out on offense. See what you have here. And if next year it's not working out, let these teams come in and pick those pitchers clean. They would deserve it at that point. But with Alcantara, with Myers, with Weathers, with Luzardo, with Cabrera, with Munoz, and with this bullpen, man, am I the only one? Scary. Bring in a 4-hitter. Man, you can trade all the hitters you want. Trade Jazz all day long. I really don't care. Do it. Do it now. You're watching your Locked On Marlins postcast. Jim Grieshaber. Call me Gries. Trade the hitters, keep the pitchers. Why? Just look at the scoreboard. 1-zip. Look it right underneath it. 11th shutout loss this season 11 times. They've had a 9-gamer. They've had a 6-gamer. They've had 3 5-gamers because they can't hit. They cannot hit. They cannot hit. They cannot hit. They're not a major league lineup. Berger, Bell, Gordon killed them again today. Killed them again today. And they do it time and time again. Hit the ball. 8th inning, 1-0 game. Berger and Bell not even coming close. Berger strikes out on a check swing. No plate discipline. None. And these are the guys you're counting on to drive in the runs in the middle of your lineup. Bell, Berger, and Gordon. Get a couple of dribbler singles in between. When we come back, we'll look at tomorrow. Look, Sixto Sanchez on the IL. He's not going to be here anyway. Luzardo on the IL. Where are we at here? Alcantara, 60-day IL. 60-day IL. Yuri Perez. Anyway, that's the injury report. You're watching your Locked On Marlins postcast. Look, it's been a dismal year in terms of injuries for the pitchers. But, man, they come back healthy next year. All those arms. It's a playoff team. It's a playoff team. I will tell you right now they're a playoff team with those pitchers. They need to get one bat in the middle of this lineup. If Berger's a 6-hole hitter or a 7 and Bell, you bring in one hitter. You had Soler last year. You bring in one hitter in the middle of this lineup, maybe 2, if you would have kept Luis Severino. You can trade Jazz. Trade him to the Yanks. Don't trade the arms. Locked On Marlins postcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries. Taking a break, coming back, finishing up, taking a look ahead to tomorrow. We bees right back. I'm so excited every day when I do your Locked On Marlins postcast. I love baseball. I love this team. You know, we rip them, we pull them apart, but They keep you engaged, right? They make it fun day in and day out. They're close games, opportunities abound, and that's what makes it fun for me as a skilled tradesman, but not the kind of skilled tradesman you might be. And I'm excited for you. Why? Because you can get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Plus, pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Master Trade program. Every trade master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/T-M and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. And you guys know me. Every day I'm talking about FanDuel. I get so excited. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs are done, NBA, Stanley Cup, we get fewer games. And now Major League Baseball just coming off the All-Star break. You have the Olympics, WNBA All-Star break, no football yet. The sports are not sportsing like we want them to. But have no fear. FanDuel is here. They let me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right, there's something for everyone, every day, all summer long. So head on over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. I'm loving the FanDuel ads, man. I love FanDuel. Adds so much fun to it. Real quick, Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available on the free Fire TV channels app. And I can't see the top line of that piece of copy. If anyone's watching from the powers that be, we can get that fixed maybe. This episode of Locked On Marlins POSTCAST brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah, the right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. And one more thing, man. One more thing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the top of it and the middle of it and the sides. Well, I don't know why we always say the bottom. Thank you from the depths of my heart for making Locked On Marlins POSTCAST and Locked On Marlins with Pete your first listen every day. We're free. We're available wherever you get your podcasts. In fact, you could be with us right now on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts. And on YouTube, Locked On Sports Miami, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Almost all the leagues. We're working on so many exciting new things with Locked On, doing shows on local. Oh, boy. I am really excited. I can't say too much. Can't let the cat out of the bag. I don't know why you would ever put a cat in a bag to begin with, but they did some weird things back in the day, and we just carried their sayings forward, right? Let me give you the quick recap. The New York Mets come on out and get a hit against the Mets. Scored the only run of the game on a fielder's choice ground ball to shortstop in the fourth inning. Alvarez with the RBI. Both offenses struggled mightily tonight against Luis Severino of the Mets and Roddery Munoz of the Marlins. Both guys throwing mid-90s, filthy stuff tonight. Severino, 6 shutout innings, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. Munoz, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. Miami's bullpen lights out again. Bryan Hoeing, Hector Brazoban, Andrew Nardi, JT Chargrois, 4 scoreless innings combined. Jesus Sanchez, 2 hits for the Marlins, but they went 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position and left 10 men on base, as did the New York Mets, who managed to score 1 run with Jose Iglesias, 2 hits for New York. They couldn't get the big hit either. They play the 3rd game of this 4-game series tomorrow on a Sunday in Miami. The first pitch will be at about 1:10 p.m. Eastern, Trevor Rogers, 1-9 for Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. It's a beautiful day for anyone who gets to face Trevor Rogers in the neighborhood. Anyway, he'll take on the Mets' Christian Scott. Great Scott! No, he's not. Tanner Scott is Great Scott. 0-2. Do not trade Tanner Scott. Do not trade him. Do not trade him. Don't do it. Don't trade any of the pitchers. Trade Jazz. Trade the hitters. Get them out of here. They can't hit anyway. But do not trade Tanner Scott. He's the best closer in baseball right now. Do not trade him. Do not trade the best pitcher in the game in his position. Left-handed closer. Do not. Come at me. Who's better? Who's better? Do not trade him. Don't do it. Please don't do it. We'll be here right after the game tomorrow, as we are every day, with your Locked On Marlins postcast. But do not trade Tanner Scott or any of the pitchers. Luzardo, Weathers, best thing that happened to those guys, probably getting hurt, because these guys would have traded them. They panicked on a rise. Could you imagine a rotation next year? Alcantara, Myers at the top. Weathers, Luzardo, Cabrera, or Munoz. One or the other, and the other one's a long reliever. You cannot trade with Chargrois and Puck and Nardi and Brazoban and Tanner Scott. Great Scott. You do not trade any of those pitchers. Please, 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 please. Tell me now, is there something I should say that'll make you not trade Tanner Scott away? I kind of like that. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Love you guys. Appreciate you being here. As always, Locked On Marlins postcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries. You see it on the screen. At Jim Gries _. I'm a sports guy. I'm an MMA guy. I'm a you guy. And Locked On Podcast Network, the growth is phenomenal. 82 million people in 1 month, baby. Thank you so much for making Locked On Marlins postcast your first listen every day. We're free, available wherever you get your podcast, plus on YouTube, Locked On Sports Miami, where you'll also find the Marlins shows and the Heat, Dolphins, Panthers, and Dolphins all year long with the postcast too. Can't wait for that. That's all there is, Fish fans. There is no more. 1-0 the Marlins lose to the Mets. They get shut out for the 11th time this season. Roddery Munoz takes the loss, although he didn't lose anything in this game. In his best outing of the season, they just couldn't hit as usual. 3rd out of 4 tomorrow with the series tied 1-1. Rogers and Scott, the pitchers for the Marlins and the Mets. Until then, thank you so much for being here day in and day out and for helping us make Locked On Podcast Network the #1 and the fastest growing sports podcast network in America. 207 plus shows and counting. Keep your game tight and your mind right, Marlins fans. We're out.